Come out and face me, Risley!
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor management regulations?
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to invite her over for a cup of tea. I do have some tea.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my sip?
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Miss Lynette would sometimes enter a box. Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you were to turn your...
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. All of the hostages are in his hands, and he's even in the mood for small talk. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start, so you deliberately aroused the traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation. Just... As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't even interfere with Child's escape.
There was no need to do so. The fortress of Meropid is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those...
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen...
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now, but Fremine is not.
He's not. What do you
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Thank you so much. Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is currently having a cup of the fortress's finest. Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he is
Wait, you can't mean you locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world. That...
Fremine's a star diver, so he should be fine, right?
No, we're still here, so he definitely tried to find a way to come back for us. So we can't assume...
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. My intel tells me that Mr. Linnea... Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord of the Fortress of Mer...
So, you've been keeping tabs on us.
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing games together here. But Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. Fremine, you need do but one thing to guarantee their safety. I would like you to contact you.
You want to see Father? But why?
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, she should have... I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the bonds of family.
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the fortress of Meropid? This place is basically a no-man's land. It wouldn't be fitting for anyone.
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here. That's such a shame.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter...
You people really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite your father here. If you refuse...
Lenny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second? From the very beginning, the Fatui has been actively infiltrating my fortress. I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, Mr. Fremine left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter...
I shouldn't ask Father to do any...
6, 5...
Wait,
2, 1. Time's up. It really is...
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave, ladies and gentlemen. It's time...
Yeah, listen to the Traveler. If you can't talk to Lenny, can you...
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws. Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll agree to your question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the...
I've been told that the infirmary is always... The Fanta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't... We often see Miss Sijwin. Fanta's internal reports suggest that there's... We often see Miss... The research notes said that the Melusine race perceive... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament... I've been told that the infirmary... I've been told that the infirmary is always... Fanta's internal reports... The research notes said that the Melusine...
So that's what's going on. Paimon understands it now. Who would have guessed? The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not... At first we thought this strange meat must have something to do with the people who disappeared. But in reality, she often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and makes it out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health. Sijwin has only the best intentions with her. Unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world differently. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special... Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijwin's secret and even guessed her intent. All right, now for my next question. There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both...
I've been told that the infirmary is... Fanta's internal reports... The research notes said that the Melusine... The Fanta promoter has been... According to Collins, the The Fanta promoter has been struggling. Fanta's internal reports... The Fanta promoter has been... I've been told that the infirmary is... We often see Miss Sijwin observing... According to Collins, the Pancration...
Paimon gets this rule too now, so there really was nothing to be afraid of. That hidden rule of the Pancration ring is about how, people are not supposed to bet on both boxers at the same time. And if they do, they'll receive a... People get scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun to associate it with... But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named a blood-red drink. It's no wonder even Fanta's own staff were questioning the company's decision-making. The company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided to try to trial the product on a smaller scale. To see how it might be they came to the fortress of Meropid and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push their new product. But the Duke completely refused to even entertain the idea. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their truth, and so only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to bet on two...
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery. Although, based on your description, that Fanta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collaboration with the company. All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of You'll pay for this! Ah!
Oh, close one. I owe you, Sigeween. That was a fantastic...
It was nothing, Your Grace. Sigeween? Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional. As...
Sigeween.
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress. When Monsieur Nervulette asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of... But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here, just like the rest? But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulette told me to do. His Grace knows it too, right?
My dear Sigeween, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait and...
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating. What are you talking about?
Take me if you want.
How touching. Can you...
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss Sigeween, I leave Miss Lynette and you.
You.
I believe I hear footsteps.
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Clarande. My door.
Renee.
What's going on? What is Clarande doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linny. The tranquilizing effect will begin to...
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed...
What did you say?
Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough...
I'll talk to Clarande while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of... Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Sorry. I am aware that the infirmary may not be your...
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving?
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator.
Where is she?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also...
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sigeween, how's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to...
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intent.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case. Want some tea?
Not particularly. If you wanted...
Fine, I'd like to get some tea.
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a...
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure? You don't look all right.
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but...
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Paimon, you're... Fremine?
He'll be fine. But for now, please...
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette?
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him.
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just returned from
He's awake. Fremine, how do you feel?
Lynette.
We're all here.
Where?
The infirmary, at the fortress of Meropid.
How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling...
Traveler. Paimon. It's, the sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there. Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. Where could Master Child be? This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the... The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. Oh, there are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the... My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. This... I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child...
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fort.
Miss Clarande, you say?
You're still too weak for Monet. You can go. Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another few days.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley...
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able...
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with...
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring my...
Understood. In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now.
Thank you.
Time to go. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremonet's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Siegewin?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande. How are you
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my...
Well, want to explain yourself, Rice?
Of course. but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. But where should I begin? How about you start by asking...
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals...
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know...
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape. But in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the...
So you were hoping Linny's group would just...
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meropid is on... The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to...
Are the rumors true? That you're also a...
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto its...
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask...
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an...
And saving Fremine?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to... All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a...
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that bad?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know...
Even if the truth may not be pleasant? Follow me.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of play... Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, what a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed... Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little...
Well,
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for your...
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one!
Go on, have a look. I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meropid. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, the temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the... Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial...
The concentration of primordial seawater?
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, Yes.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial... Oh. Oh!
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have... The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into this. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone...
But that's just too weird! Why would the fortress of Meropid be built right up...
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meropid in any traditional sense. What we know about its history... When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced... Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro... And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began... As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles... The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark... And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as... But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is...
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. To be frank, not really. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh? Lorvine and...
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our...
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could...
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head.
Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them.
You want to
What a lovely idea. I'm already imagining...
Gotta admit,
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace,
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than.
Jeez, forget I said anything. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before.
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden, he called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the...
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and so the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began to...
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a... Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Seems like you're good. I'll leave you here for now.
Oh,
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for...
Great. I look...
We're back!
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that while I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me.
Must have been Risley and Sijwin.
Yeah, I heard 1 male voice and 1 female, so...
I really can't make sense.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my... Yeah, I took the time to rest.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijwin is also...
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3... Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea.
Whoa, he's good.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very... What's more, the fortress of Meropid is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervilet. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself.
You're super smart.
Thanks so much. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan that can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what is...
I can't believe...
The sea...
will engulf every...
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to... If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly...
Or perhaps he didn't know, and just wanted to bring Father over to his side?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well. The two of you have already aided us far too much. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Heart. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together...
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aw, the sound of that... Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done...
Alright, then we'll catch you guys...
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too, Missy?
And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare...
Huh. You're right. She's actually...
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Me too! Don't forget Paimon!
No problem. Just...
So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeloaders?
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious!
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now?
Sigewin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings?
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take...
You're really good at taking care of people. Even...
Really? You're reminded of an older...
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said the...
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. Thankfully, Glorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Glorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after us. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They weren't... Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real...
You were all super considerate.
It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least... I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often, too. I feel like... Get a good night's rest, you two. You both...
So much has happened. Paimon's super sleepy. Delicious. Paimon wants...
everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Uh-huh.